What is up, you guys? It's me, Max with here, and welcome back to another video. Today, we're gonna be doing a top 10 video games of 2016. 2016 had a lot of amazing games this year, and I just thought I'd give my own personal insight of which games were my personal favorite. Anyways, we got a whole bunch of games. Unfortunately, not all of them are going to be in the top 10 list because I didn't get the chance to play them. So don't worry, they'll be mentioned in the honorable mention section. For now, just enjoy that Overwatch gameplay in the background because obviously Overwatch is going to be in the top 10 list, obviously in the top 3. But just go ahead and enjoy that Genji gameplay. That was a pretty good game back when I played it. Anyways, let's just get right into it. So for our honorable mentions, we have Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2. Plants vs Zombies has always been a personal favorite game of mine. Personally, I love the original strategy game, and when they released this third-person action shooter, it was fascinating. And I didn't actually have the opportunity to buy Garden Warfare 2, but I did play the beta, and from what I played, I really enjoyed. And I think that definitely deserves an honorable mention because it was a pretty good game. Next up on honorable mention, we have Hitman, the new Hitman game released I believe this year with a lot of DLCs. Personally, I think it was very well done. It kept to its original kind of stealthy style from the original games, and at the same time creating a rich environment and really improved graphics. Unfortunately, I didn't want to buy the rest of the DLCs because it was kind of a weird system that they decided to do, where the first level was $10 and you bought the rest of the game in DLC form. It was very strange, and I didn't want to bother with that. Next up, we have BioShock Collection. This one is kind of a strange one because it's a collection, not really necessarily a new game. But I think it's a pretty good collection. It comes with all 3 games, fully remastered. Like, it actually looks remastered. It has really good graphics, and in general, it looks really, really good. And if you're a big fan of BioShock, or if you're not, this is definitely a great collection to pick up. Anyways, next up we have Sid Meier's Civilization 6. Now, I don't really play Civ that much, but from what I've seen for Civ 6, I think it definitely looks like an amazing game. It definitely looks like they've improved it. I've played a little bit of Civ, and I do enjoy it. But Civ 6 looks like they really did a really good job with it. And that's why I think it deserves a spot on the honorable mention. Next up, we have Infinite Warfare, Call of Duty. Now, this one many people maybe won't agree with, but I got to play the beta, I think, and then the free trial that they gave us. And in general, I think it's not a bad game, and it's not. The campaign looks like it's pretty good. I've heard a lot of positive reviews for it. The zombies it's pretty decent. It's much more complicated, but if you're a zombies fan, I think you'll still enjoy it. And the multiplayer, I think it was pretty good. It's too fast-paced, for my opinion, but I still think it was a fairly, enjoyable multiplayer. Nothing new, nothing bad. But I think Call of Duty doesn't get enough credit that it's still a good game. It's just that nobody really wants another futuristic style. That's the only reason people really don't like COD. Anyways, moving on, we have Dishonored 2. I'm not a big fan of Dishonored, I'll be honest. I didn't even finish the first one. I played like half of it. With that being said, I've heard a lot of good things about the second one, and a lot of good things about the first one, even though I didn't like the first one. Anyways, I think it deserves a spot here because how well people liked it. Anyways, finally on the honorable mention list is Watch Dogs 2. I'm a fan of the first Watch Dogs. I really enjoyed it. I heard a lot of people didn't like the first one, but I think the second one got better reviews, if I'm not mistaken. And it does look like an improvement. It looks more like GTA 5 kind of style, but with Watch Dogs elements. Anyways, from what I've seen, it looks like a great game. Now onto our top 10. For number 10, we have Deadly Tower of Monsters. Now, this is an indie game. Maybe not a lot of people are familiar, but we got this for free for PlayStation Plus a while back. It's an indie game. It's a top view indie game, and it follows kind of it's like a movie, a 90s movie, or like an 80s movie, and it's actually really well done. You should definitely check it out if you got it for free. It's funny. The combat could use some improvement, but in general, it's a very good idea. It's fresh. It's something that it's hard for an indie developer to come up with something original because so many indie developers do the same thing, I feel. And this one kind of is a new take on indie, and it definitely deserves a spot on here. And I added this one to give a shout out to indie games. I feel like all these top 10 lists include all the AAA titles, and they always leave indie titles in the dust. And I think it deserves at least a spot in the top 10. At number 9, we have Job Simulator for PlayStation VR, or for the PC VR. And this one, I have VR, and I've been playing this one for a bit. And definitely, Job Simulator is one of the better VR games out there. Most VR games are just either space simulation kind of, or just you just stand there. And I think Job Simulator definitely does a good job to keep you entertained for at least the first time you play it. And even if you played it once, you can always go back and just do random shit on it. And I think in general it's a pretty good game. And again, I just wanted to mention this one because, again, nobody ever mentions VR games on their list. So I just wanted to put that one there. At number 8, we have Let It Die. This one's a free-to-play. And wow, what a free-to-play it is. If you have not checked out Let It Die, I highly recommend to go download it right now. It's free, obviously. There's obviously microtransactions that help you boost up in the game, but nothing too extreme. It's not really a pay-to-win. But I think Let It Die is definitely one of the best free-to-play games I've ever played. Warframe is definitely up there, but Let It Die just really, it's very Dark Souls. If you play Dark Souls, it has that kind of same deal, and but I don't know, I really enjoyed it, and it's free to play. It's really well done actually, and you can actually have a lot of fun. It's very hard and challenging, but I think that's what makes the game really good. Number 7, we have Mafia 3. Now the only reason Mafia 3 isn't higher up in the list is because the gameplay was fairly similar for the most part. It's a great game. It's a great comeback for the series, but there's just something off about it. And I think if you've played the other Mafias and played this one, you will know what I mean. Where it's kind of it's slightly different, and they could have definitely done so much more with it. It had so much potential, but even it's still a great game, and I think definitely deserves a spot on here. Number 6, we have Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Now, not a lot of people really play Mirror's Edge or even care about it, but I'm a huge fan of the first one. And when I heard the second one was coming out, I was really excited. And so I got it, and I've been having a blast with it. It's an incredible game. It's very true to the first one, but at the same time adding more story elements, creating new open world areas, and it's just an improved version of the first one. And I think if you enjoy the first one, you're definitely going to enjoy the second one. If you're not a fan of the series, though, I don't think you're going to enjoy it. People have a lot of complications with the gameplay, how it is. And it is, you have to get used to it. But personally, I think it's a great game, and I definitely deserve this spot on here. Number 5, we have Killing Floor 2. Now, this one's technically not a 2016 release. I think this one released last year for PC. But I'm counting it because it's on the PS4. It released on PS4 this year. And I love Killing Floor. I was a big fan of Killing Floor 1. Killing Floor 2 came out, and it was just as amazing as the first one. They improved a lot of stuff. They made the graphics so much nicer. Added new maps, new characters, customization. Added so much more. And they could have added, in my opinion, a lot more. Like more weapons or etc. But in general, it's a great game. Definitely, and it's cheap. It's $40. You know, it's cheaper than a full price game. And it's definitely a fun game to just play for survival or to play with your friends, and has a lot of replayability because it's just a survival. I mean, if survival isn't really your thing, you might not really like it. But if you just want to play a game with your friends and where you work together to survive in a kind of scary environment, Killing Floor 2 is definitely for you. Number 4, we have Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 obviously had to be on the list. It is such an incredible game. People don't realize how amazing Battlefield 1 was. Definitely a huge improvement from Battlefront. And the campaign is awesome, the multiplayer is awesome. Everything about Battlefield 1 is just fantastic. There's really nothing bad with the game. there's really nothing bad you can say about the game. But the only reason it's on number 4 is because I prefer other games. You'll see my top 3. Why it didn't make it to the top 3, but I don't play Battlefield that much, but I do definitely think it's a fantastic game. Number 3, we have Doom. Now, Doom was probably the biggest game of the year in the sense where it just blew everyone's mind. Because usually when games make a comeback, such like Doom or like Duke Nukem or Wolfenstein, they usually have some trouble because it's hard to keep to the original, but at the same time making it a modern version, so it's not as boring. So Doom definitely did a great job at keeping it to the original Doom, but at the same time implementing new features, implementing new amazing graphics, implementing so much more. And I think Doom in general was such a fantastic game. Like, if you haven't picked it up or tried it, definitely go get it right now. I think it's on sale. It's been on sale for a while. And it has a fantastic single player. The multiplayer is pretty fun also. And there's the snap map editor, so you can play other creators' levels, and you can create your own levels, and there's just so much there to do. It's definitely worth the $60. And even if you're not a huge Doom fan, this one will definitely get you hooked on the series. You know, you'll be wanting to play the classics just to feel, to get more into the Doom story. Number 2, we have Overwatch. So Overwatch didn't make it first place because, let's face it, it's Overwatch. It's such an amazing game. I love Overwatch so much. I spent so many hours on it. I spent so much money on loot boxes on it, more than I'm willing to admit. But in the end of the day, it's just a multiplayer game. And I think a lot of people keep forgetting that. Overwatch won the VGAs this year, and I've seen a lot of people top 10s, and Overwatch is like the number 1. And just Overwatch is like the big game this year. But people just don't realize, and they keep forgetting, it's just a multiplayer game. So while the replayability is very high, and you can definitely have loads of fun non-stop with the different characters and shit, it could have done, it would have been number 1 if it had a campaign, because the Overwatch story, the lore, is so rich and it's so good. But the only way of figuring things out is like through the comics and reading the articles, and then if it had a story, like a full campaign with these characters, it would have been the best game ever. But because it's a multiplayer game, it loses some points in my opinion. I know it's Blizzard, and Blizzard is famous for making really good multiplayer games, but I still feel like they would have gotten more points if they had added more, you know? But that's just my opinion. I'm sure many people disagree, but it is just a multiplayer game, you guys. And in first place we have Uncharted 4. So this one's I'm a little biased because I really love Naughty Dog. They're my number 1 company when it comes to game companies. But I think Uncharted 4 definitely blew everyone's mind away. It looks graphically beautiful. It has amazing combat system. It has great story. They really outdid themselves. They got everything that was good from Last of Us and everything that was good from Uncharted and basically jammed it together and made something even better. And I think Uncharted 4 is definitely a game that you just shouldn't miss out. However, the only thing that I'm going to say about Uncharted 4 that kind of I wasn't sure about putting it in number 1 place was because it had too much story in my opinion. So usually Naughty Dog games rely their story on the cinematic sequences, which are really good cinematics. Unfortunately, Uncharted 4 had a lot of I don't know, they talked a lot, and it kind of seemed to ruin the flow of action adventure. And I think for that reason, Naughty Dog definitely could have done it differently. I think not so much story and a lot more action sequences, because there wasn't that much action as the other Uncharted, I think. But in general, it's a fantastic campaign. You're gonna definitely love it if you haven't played the series. The multiplayer was really fun. It's kind of dying out now, but I enjoyed the multiplayer a lot. And they added this new survival mode that you can play now again, and that one's great. And they're adding a new standalone DLC, and that looks so much better. But yeah, Uncharted 4 definitely gets the number 1 spot. That's it for this list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope. Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree? Do you think I should change something? I'm fairly content with this list because I think I combine AAA titles, but I also give a spot to games that aren't really noticed by a lot of people. I think deserve a lot more credit than they get. Anyways, thanks for watching. Leave in the comments if you agree, if you disagree. What's your top 10? Um, and yeah, and one final note, link in the description, and I'm probably gonna have it somewhere on the screen. Go subscribe to our new channel, NG Squared. We're still there. We're still having loads of fun on there. Go subscribe. Go leave a comment. Go leave a like. Go leave a comment saying Dario is a weeb and Freslin is a loser. And then I'll know you came from Max School 58. So go do that, please. We need all the support we can get. We're an amazing channel, and I think we just need that kind of rush of people to go help us out. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this top 10, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Have a happy New Year and Merry Christmas, even though it's kind of late. So yeah, bye.